I'm Naomi Kikon, and here are the top stories for today. Israel carried out a second wave of airstrikes on Syrian government forces in southwestern Syria on Tuesday, deepening its involvement in the escalating conflict in the region and vowing to protect the Druze minority amid fierce sectarian violence. The strikes targeted regime troops and military assets deployed to the southern province of Sweden, where clashes between armed Druze groups and Sunni Bedouin fighters have intensified since the weekend. A Reuters reporter in Sweden heard multiple drone strikes and gunfire, saw a damaged tank being towed, and reported several bodies lying in the streets. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz confirmed the military intervention, stating it was necessary to uphold the demilitarization of the area near the Israeli border and to prevent harm to the Druze population. The Indian Embassy in Iran issued a travel advisory on Wednesday, urging Indian nationals to avoid non-essential travel to Iran due to rising security concerns in the region. The advisory follows a sharp spike in regional hostilities that began with Israel's launch of Operation Rising Lion on June 13, bombing Iranian military and nuclear facilities. In response, Iran retaliated with missile and drone attacks against Israeli targets. The United States, in strong support for Israel, retaliated with attacks on key Iranian nuclear facilities at Fordo, Natanz and Isfahan on June 22. The Iranian armed forces launched retaliatory strikes targeting key positions across the Israeli-occupied territories and on the U.S. military airbase in Qatar. The 12-day war came to an end on June 24 when Israel declared a unilateral halt to its aggression announced on its behalf by U.S. President Donald Trump. The JCPOA, signed in 2015, capped Tehran's enrichment level at 3.67% and reduced its uranium stockpile to 300 kilograms. The deal collapsed in 2018 with Trump's unilateral withdrawal of the U.S. from the accord. Since then, Iran has started exceeding agreed-upon limits to its stockpile of low-enriched uranium in 2019 and began enriching uranium to higher concentrations up to 60% purity, which is very close to the weapons grade level. Earlier this month, Iranian President Pezeshkian signed into law a bill suspending cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency. The state broadcaster of Iran reported that Pezeshkian ratified the bill after Parliament approved the legislation. The Indian Embassy in Iran issued a travel advisory on Wednesday, urging Indian nationals to avoid non-essential travel to Iran due to rising security concerns in the region. The advisory follows a sharp spike in regional hostilities that began with Israel's launch of Operation Rising Lion on June 13, bombing Iranian military and nuclear facilities. In response, Iran retaliated with missile and drone attacks against Israeli targets. The United States, in strong support for Israel, retaliated with attacks on key Iranian nuclear facilities at Fordo, Natanz and Isfahan on June 22. In a historic moment, Group Captain Suphanshu Shukla and the Axiom 4 crew aboard Dragon spacecraft splashes down in the Pacific Ocean after an 18-day stay aboard the International Space Station. The crew had departed from the orbiting laboratory on Tuesday, July 14, 2025 on board the SpaceX Dragon. Astronaut Suphanshu Shukla will undergo a 7-day rehabilitation program after he splashed down off the California coast on July 15 as he returns to the Earth from an 18-day sojourn at the International Space Station. As the AX-4 crew splashes down in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Southern California, ground crews will be dispatched for retrieval of the spaceship and they will be pulled aboard Shannon SpaceX Dragon recovery vessel. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh said, "Underquote, Bharat today has truly found an enduring space in the world of space. It is a moment of glory for India as one of its illustrious sons returns after completing a successful voyage." Unquote.
As it's making its final descent for its water landing.
And it's a little foggy, as you can see there.
Yeah, Pacific fog is rolling in.
We've got some very bright lights as Dragon, you can see the ocean there. Dragon is about to touch down in just a few seconds here.
And working their way towards the vehicle are the SpaceX and Axiom support teams that will be present for the next phase of our splashdown coverage today. At this point, we'll be waiting for confirmation of the crew's safe landing, and then we'll move into the phases of this mission, which are really, let's recover the vehicle, let's recover the crew, let's make our assessments, and at that point, we'll be covering.
And we have splashdown of the AX-4 crew.
We have you loud and clear.
Dragon, we have you the same. Expect automated chute deployment.
Dragon copies. Automated chute deploy.
And great news, as you heard there, we got comms from the AX-4 crew.
That's exactly what we're waiting for, and I love that you can hear the excitement in Peggy's voice.
Congratulations, ISRO. And Bharat has today truly found an enduring space in the world of space. It's a moment of pride for the whole world and a moment of glory for India as one of her illustrious sons returns back after accomplishing a successful voyage and after having conducted some of the very vital life-bearing experiments never done before. And therefore, as I said, today indeed Bharat has found an enduring space in the world of space.
Two men working as Shiksha Dut or temporary visiting teachers in government schools were allegedly killed by Naxalites at separate places in Chhattisgarh's Bijapur district on the suspicion of being police informers, officials said on Tuesday. Both the murders took place in the interior part of the district located under Farsigarh police station area during the intervening night of Monday and Tuesday, following which security personnel were sent there, a police official said. As per the preliminary information, one of the victims, Vinod Mate, 28, a resident of Bilur village in Farsigarh area, taught in Kotapatku village school, while Suresh Mehta, 29, who resided in Tekameta village, was posted in a local school, he said. Since the incident site is located in the interior parts of the Indravati National Park area, the bodies of the duo have not been recovered so far and efforts are currently underway in that direction, he said. Prima facie, the duo was killed on the suspicion of acting as police informers, he said. With this incident, around 25 people have lost their lives in Maoist violence in Bastar region, comprising 7 districts, including Bijapur, so far this year. Two people were killed while 2 were injured after a massive fire broke out at a building in the old Govindpura area in Jagatpuri of Shahadara district. The incident broke out in the late hours of Tuesday. Deputy Commissioner of Police Shahadara Prashant Kaudam confirmed the death of 2 people in the incident. The deceased have been identified as Tanvir and Nusrat, while the injured have been identified as Faisal and Asif.
ये फायर कॉल मिली हमें, फायर कॉल मिलने के बाद तुरंत हम लोग सीन पे पहुंचे हैं और यहाँ पे हमने रेस्क्यू किया है, जिसमें से 4 पर्सन्स इंजर्ड हुए हैं, उन्हें हॉस्पिटल में भेजा गया है हेड विभाग में और उसके बाद में अभी फायर को एक्सटिंग्विश। चारों में किसी की डेथ तो नहीं हुई? डेथ के विषय में डॉक्टर डिक्लेयर करेंगे, अभी भेजा है हमने इंजर्ड हॉस्पिटल में। टोटल कितनी गाड़ी पहुंचे आपके पास? टोटल हमारी 6 गाड़ी पहुंची। कॉल टाइम क्या था? कॉल टाइम 8:45 का था। कॉल मिली हमने, हम एट वंस हमने अपना काम किया। कैजुअलिटी कितनी है? 4 टोटल। चारों ठीक है या इंजर्ड है? वो इंजर्ड का वो आ रहा है। कोई बता रही है 2 की मौत? हाँ, कुछ वो देखते हैं बता रहे।
सर, इसका भाई आया था, बोलता है कि मेरे भाई की मौत हो गई, 2 की मौत बता रहे हैं। 2 का यही है कि
जो सुनने में आया है, बाकी अभी पता लग जाएगा, सीएमओ डिक्लेयर करेंगे।
The Supreme Court on Tuesday granted protection from arrest to Indore-based cartoonist Hemant Malviya for his caricatures of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. A bench of Justices Sudhanshu Dhulia and Aravind Kumar granted interim anticipatory bail to Malviya after he submitted an apology. It directed him to file the apology in Hindi in the form of an affidavit and directed the parties to complete the pleading till the next date. The Apex Court has now posted the matter for hearing after August 15. The Apex Court was hearing an anticipatory bail application of Malviya for his objectionable caricatures of the PM and RSS. On Monday, the Apex Court expressed disapproval of the cartoonist's conduct. The High Court had said that Malviya had misused the freedom of speech and ought to have used his discretion while drawing the caricature in question. His plea has clarified that he had published the original cartoon during the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic, when social media was rife with misinformation and fear related to the safety and efficacy of the vaccines. The petitioner stated that his cartoon is a satirical caricature work that offers social commentary on the comments made by a public figure regarding some vaccines being effective and safe like water, despite their efficacy remaining untested through rigorous clinical trials. He further claimed that the caricature was the artist's imagination of a common man being vaccinated by a public representative and has been in public circulation on social media for over 4 years. In a significant policy shift, U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday announced fresh military support for Ukraine and threatened sweeping tariffs on Russia's trading partners in a bid to pressure Moscow into ending its war within 50 days. According to reports, Trump unveiled the plan during an Oval Office meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, stating that Europe would bear the cost of advanced American weaponry, including Patriot missile systems, which are vital to defend Kyiv from intensified Russian air assaults.
It's a great honor to have a friend of mine who's become very friendly over the last number of years. We knew each other before, but Mark is the head of NATO, Mark Rutte, Secretary General of NATO, highly respected by everybody that knows him, but in particular the European countries. They have great reliance on him, and he's done a fantastic job. And we had a tremendous meeting, I guess it's about a month ago, and I think Mark will tell you that it was really perhaps more important the date of November 5th. That was the election day. Maybe that was the most important, because we've made tremendous progress together. And one of the reasons that you're here today is to hear that we are very unhappy, I am, with Russia, but we'll discuss that maybe a different day. But we're very, very unhappy with them, and we're going to be doing very severe tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. Tariffs at about 100%. You'd call them secondary tariffs. You know what that means. But today we're going to talk about something else. And as you know, we've spent $350 billion approximately on this war with Russia and Ukraine, and would like to see it end. It wasn't my war, it was Biden's war. It's not my war. I'm trying to get you out of it. And we want to see it end. And I'm disappointed in President Putin, because I thought we would have had a deal 2 months ago, but it doesn't seem to get there. So based on that, we're going to be doing secondary tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. It's very simple. And they'll be at 100%. And that's the way it is. That can be more simple. It's just the way it is. I hope we don't have to do it. But regardless, we are going to be, we make the greatest military equipment in the world, whether it's missiles. You saw that recently in Iran, the way those planes flew in. They had every single, 14 bombs hit every target.
Congress leaders staged a candlelight protest in Balasore on Tuesday night, demanding justice for the 20-year-old student from Fakir Mohan Autonomous College in Odisha's Balasore, who succumbed to her injuries after self-immolation. The victim, a young woman who allegedly set herself on fire after being denied justice, succumbed to her injuries late Monday at AIIMS, Bhubaneswar. The incident drew sharp political reactions and public outrage, with the Odisha Congress unit accusing authorities of apathy and negligence.
बालेश्वर की बेटी के लिए कैंडल यात्रा कर रहे हैं। एक बहादुर लड़की अन्याय के खिलाफ लड़ता रहा, पुलिस के पास गया, थाना के पास गया, एसपी के पास गया, एजुकेशन सेक्रेटरी को बोला, सबके पास गया और सीएम तक भी लिखा और केंद्र मंत्री तक लिखा, एसपी कलेक्टर सबका दरवाजा खटखटाया, एमएलए के पास गया, एमपी के पास गया, फिर भी केस रजिस्टर नहीं हुआ। वो भी शासक दल का एबीवीपी का एक विद्यार्थी बच्ची थी, उसके साथ इतना बड़ा अन्याय हुआ, लगा कि सब लोग सोच समझ करके उसका उत्पीड़न और उसकी हत्या करने के लिए प्लान कर रहे थे। इस तरह की पता चल रहा है। खुद को जला, लेकिन जब पेट्रोल डाला तब सीसीटीवी कैमरा ऑन था, सब लोग थे, कैसे पेट्रोल को डाला, कैसे आग लगाया, ये सारा चीज बहुत बड़ा सवाल है। विद्यार्थी बच्ची को सोच समझ करके इन लोगों ने, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के प्रमुख लोगों ने, जिम्मेदार लोगों ने, जो न्याय दे सकते थे, गिरफ्तार कर सकते थे, पुलिस को आदेश दे सकते थे, उन लोगों ने सब चुप रहा, जिसके कारण आज वो हम लोगों के बीच नहीं है। उसको श्रद्धांजलि के लिए, उसकी आत्मा की शांति के लिए कैंडल यात्रा हम लोग कर रहे हैं और अभी शोक सभा करेंगे।
After news of the postponement of the execution of Nimisha Priya in Yemen, the Supreme Court of India heard the case on Monday and has told the government to explore informal channels for her release. The central government told the Supreme Court that it can do nothing much to stop the execution of Kerala nurse Nimisha Priya in Yemen, citing the country's lack of diplomatic recognition and the situation's sensitivity. However, efforts are being made. SC will hear the case again on July 18. BJP leader V. Muralidharan said on Tuesday that it was good news that the execution of Nimisha Priya has been postponed. The government of India, through the MEA, have been making all efforts to get her released. But there were some technical issues which created a roadblock. The efforts are still on. Nimisha Priya, a nurse from Kerala, faces execution in Yemen on July 16 for the 2017 murder of a Yemeni national.
Good news that the execution, which was, as per the information that we were receiving, was supposed to be on 16th, but now it has been postponed. Since the news of her punishment came, the government of India, through the Ministry of External Affairs, have been making all efforts to get her released. we had made multi-track interventions through the official channels as well as through some informal channels. When I was the Minister of State, I was entrusted with this whole effort. We were also confident that we would be able to get her released. But there were some technical issues which created a roadblock. So I won't say that we completely withdrew from the efforts. We were continuing those efforts and get her released. Even after I left the ministry, there were some directions for me to intervene. So I had continued with the earlier informal efforts that I had undertaken. So that informal efforts also are still on. Let us hope that we will be able to succeed in that.
The political situation of Yemen, we all know this is very difficult to...
No, that is why I said that there are multiple issues that has made this whole issue more complicated. Because the internal strife that is there in Yemen, there is a sort of a civil war that is going on. That is one issue. Second is, of course, the family who has lost, or the person who lost his life, his family, their approach has been another issue. And third is along with her, the others who are involved in the crime, that is also another issue. So that is why I said that there were some technical issues which government and through informal channels, we were trying to solve those issues. I am still optimistic that we will be able to find a solution. At least for the time being, I would say that this is a partial relief, that the execution has been in a way postponed. So we will get some more time to make our efforts to get her released.
Punjab Assembly passed two major bills today at the ongoing Assembly session. The first bill involves desecration of religious texts. The Punjab Prevention of Offences Against Holy Scriptures Bill 2025 provides punishment up to life imprisonment for sacrilege. This was, however, forwarded to a select committee that will discuss the legislation with the public and all stakeholders and submit its suggestions within 6 months. The other bill is related to a provision to be added to ensure strict punishment in cases of involvement in drugs.
विधान सभा दे विच दो बहुत इतिहासिक बिल पास होए ने और दोनों बिल सर्वसम्मति नाल पास होए ने। एक तां किसी भी धार्मिक ग्रंथ की बेअदबी जिहड़ी हुंदी है ओहदे खिलाफ सख्त तो सख्त सज़ा दा बिल जिहड़ा पास किया गया। एक ड्रग्स के मामले ते सख्त तो सख्त सज़ा का प्रोविजन रखा गया। सो पंजाब नूं दोबारा पंजाब बनाउणा, पंजाब नूं दोबारा रंगला पंजाब बनाउणा साडा फर्ज है। ये साडी गारंटी भी सी अरविंद केजरीवाल साहब दी। मेरी असीं जदों कस्बियां पिंडां जांदे सी तां साडीआं गारंटियां सी ते मैनूं उम्मीद है कि लोक पक्षी फैसले होए ने ते लोक इस गल ते खुश भी होणगे। हाँ, श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहब वाला जां भगवत गीता जां कुरान शरीफ जां जिन्ने भी धार्मिक ग्रंथ ने उन्होंने कंसल्टिंग कमेटी च भेज के असी लोगों की राय लेनी चाहते हैं कि कानून नूं मतलब किवें होर ज़्यादा वधिया बना सकीए ताकि अगे तो कोई जिहड़ा है वो हिम्मत ना कर सके इस गल दी। क्योंकि असी कोई 117 बंदे बह के शायद ना बना सकीए उन्ना जिन्ना 3.5 करोड़ बंदा दस सकता। ये दोनों
That's all for now. Keep watching Hornbill TV.
Ready? 3,